The Opportunity Shop, once known as the Old House, was built in 1889 in Waipu.
Sort of a community house where the Plunkett and a few of those type of people used to come out from Whangarei and had room to spare, and that's when the Opportunity Shop took over one room. Then it became owned by the Whangarei District Council. Yeah, but each of the 3 primary schools were given $500. We also support the Crippled Children's Fund. I believe there's 2 people who are still living in the district who were the last teachers to live in the house. Mrs. Braham from Waipu, Jeanette Braham, and Mrs. Anne Challenger.
And when I lived there, the house used to be called the headmaster's house. There was a small shed-like building. Part of it was the toilet, which was an outside toilet. It was a flush toilet, but outside. The other part had 2 concrete tubs and a copper, and we had to chop the wood, put it underneath the copper, fill the copper with cold water, light the fire, bring it up to the boil, and boil all the washing. There are plenty of stories probably, but the old house being in the main street of Waipu, that was wonderful because we were close to the few shops. The hall was across the road, and in those days there was a dance, probably at least twice a month in the hall. There'd be sports dances or people's wedding dances.
Were there any changes made to the old house?
Not while I stayed there. The changes had been made before that, because when the house was lived in by the headmaster, it was quite small, and when they bought the new house for the headmaster, they actually added a better kitchen and another bedroom to the house.
Who was responsible for keeping the old house up?
A group of us got together and approached the council to see if we could rent it and persuade them to allow it to carry on standing rather than just be bulldozed. So what we did is we got together to form a sort of cooperative and set up a craft shop in it. And fortunately for the old house, the district council went along with the idea.
Ran it as a craft place. They didn't go to make any profit in it. It was just to keep it going, and then just anything they made they put back into the craft shop again. So it ran as a craft shop. And the only one I can remember after that is the Norrishes.
The Opportunity Shop is significant to Waipu because it has had many community uses and still stands being used in Waipu today.
I think that from the perspective of tourism, we could see that if Waipu didn't hang on to its colonial buildings, it would have no value as a tourist destination in years to come.
Regulars, people who travel through from Kaitai to Auckland, for instance, often stop in and say that's their stopping place to go to the toilet, have a cup of coffee, and they come and pick through and see what we've got to take back up north of it.
Instead of building another building and demolishing the old house, why didn't they end up demolishing it?
Well, the idea of the group it was an old building, and you shouldn't get rid of all your old buildings where your history's going.
I think the Opportunity Shop's been a good asset to Waipu over the years. It's always a great place to go and buy, find the odd treasure for your wardrobe or even fancy dress costume.